Welcome into the Brooks Bench with your host, Brooke, aka Shiggy, and my co-host, Megan.
What's up, y'all?
If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, follow us on all social media at the Brooks Bench, and join our Discord, link in the description. We will be going over our mock draft, our last mock draft before the WNBA draft that will be on Monday. So let's get into it. So we're going to do the same style. We're both going to give our opinions on, why a team should pick this player, and we'll go through the first round of the WNBA draft. Starting off with Dallas, Meg. It's a hard one. Hardest pick in the draft. Okay, so really think about it and take your time. Who do you got going number one overall?
Hmm. No, it's obvious.
Yeah, this is the most obvious pick
Yeah,
of them
Paige.
all. Paige Buckets. Yeah, we don't really have to spend too much time on that one. Probably unanimous selection right there. So let's go to number two. Olivia Miles is no longer on the board. She's going back to college. This is where a lot of mock drafts had her. But with her not being, on the draft board, I really think it goes to Dominique Malonga. I know we talked about her last mock draft, and we talked about how Olivia Miles would fit well with Seattle,
Uh-huh.
another guard that can learn from Skylar Diggins. But if you think about it, Nneka's on the older side. Who knows much longer she's going to play. Obviously, they have Ezzy. Ezzy's tough.
Uh-huh.
But pairing Malonga, dude, obviously she's young. She's 19, right?
Uh-huh.
But her ceiling's high. Like, they're trying to say she's the Wemby for the W, right? Like,
Yeah.
she has the potential to be great. So it's like you got to bet it. You got to bet it now. Can you imagine her on this Seattle team, in a couple of years? She's
Uh-huh.
6'6", athletic. She moves like a guard. They call her basically like a unicorn. I don't see why you would pass on her. Maybe they like another guard. But I mean, if you want the upside on a big, like we say Kiki often has a high ceiling as well, but a 6'6" and you can move like a guard at 6'6", like I'm not passing that up. I mean, what are you thinking?
Um, this is tough, but I feel like yes, she's the best on the board. Um, but I just when I look at and I definitely get what you're saying about the forwards being older. I mean, they picked up Clark, as he is probably the youngest out of all of them because Nneka, Clark, um,
Leroux. I
yeah,
mean,
they're all
but
older. But but I think they're guards. I mean, because they have two freshmen, well, rookies, should I say, not freshmen. Get out of the college mindset.
yeah,
They still have Mackenzie Holmes on their roster and Brianna Fraser, who are both forwards. They still have Ezzy. They picked up Katie Lou Samuelson. And then they have Gabby Williams coming back. And I just feel like where they're short is the guard position. Jordan Horston's hurt. They do have Erica Willa right now, Lexi Brown, but Lexi, we know how that went. She's been struggling with a lot of off the court stuff. So they have Nika Mule, but that's where, I mean, outside of Skylar, I mean, I just feel like, unless they're just scrapping and thinking about the future, I feel like what they actually really need is a guard here. But it's like,
but who would
how do
you
you
go
pass
with?
out?
And
I
that guard is
know, it's
not going
like,
to change. This a guard they're
I
going to
know,
draft at this two spot is not going to change the for next season or this
I
upcoming
know.
season. There's
And
no
that's
way.
and that's and that's where I was that's where I was heading because when we did this before, I did see I did see what's her name? That's staying
Olivia Miles.
Olivia Miles. I saw Olivia Miles being more of an impact player as far as guards go. But I just don't see, I mean, Citron to me would be the next one. But yeah, I don't think you can just pass her up. And I mean, if you get Dominique, then you can possibly trade some of the players that are already on the roster for a guard. So
Yeah, but it's also like you talked so highly of Dominique last time, and you want her to fall to the Valkyrie, which was never going to happen. And now you're hesitant about it? I don't get it.
no, because I'm trying to look at this as like, what does that team need?
I know,
Right.
but
I'm not looking at just, I mean, yeah, if I just want to go off of who's the next best player, yeah,
Yeah.
easy.
But I
But
think that's what it comes down to for
but
Seattle
I
in,
think
in the
I
two
think a
spot.
GM also has to consider the needs of the team.
Oh no, definitely. But I don't think at the two spot you're gonna pass this to pass her up. Just in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, so are you okay with Dominique Malonga at the two?
Yeah.
Okay. Over to Washington. Now Washington has a 3 and 4 pick via Chicago at the 3. So I mean either way, you can go either way on this one. I mean, I guess it's just courtesy to say who you picked first, between the two because they're gonna have back-to-back picks, right? Um here I feel like Sonia Citron's been coming in at 3. I mean, if we want to have a courtesy, like, is it going to be Sonia Citron? My next pick to pair with Sonia Citron is Kiki Ryofin. I
Hmm.
know we had her projected going to the Valkyrie, but I do think she has a high ceiling. Pair her with Aaliyah Edwards, and it's looking nice. So, I mean, obviously, Sonia Citron is a high, plays both sides of the ball well.
Hmm.
Washington needs, like, a lot. Like, let's be for real.
Hmm.
Washington, their point guards are all right. They're not horrible.
Hmm.
They're all right. They have Brittany Sykes still, Carly Samuelson. I mean, their bigs are Shakira Austin deals with injuries. Stephanie Dolson's getting a little bit older, right? So they have Aaliyah Edwards to build around. Um, and I really think these two could create a really good young core for
Hmm.
this team. Like I said, Sonia Citron, good two-way player, big guard, love a big guard, shoots efficiently, playmaker. And then Kiki, on the other hand, I know she had a tough sledding at USC. We all know it. But her ceiling and her potential is what you're buying here. I feel like in the right system, she could do well. I know there's a lot of other names that maybe are being paired with these two picks for Washington. Was there anyone else you may be considering in this spot or
Not above them, no.
okay.
So
You like the
yeah,
fit
I would go Sonia and Kiki 3-4.
in that order or Kiki before Sonia?
I mean,
I'm like, is it like it's a
I don't
courtesy
even
thing,
think
right? Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess so, but in my opinion, then I would go Sonia over Kiki. Just Sonia had a
really?
stronger year, in my opinion, than Kiki this year.
Really? It's crazy because I like feel like if Kiki had the same season she had at Stanford, you'd have a whole totally different opinion. She could probably be the
Oh
number
yeah.
2 pick
Oh yeah.
if she came on.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
crazy. It's crazy what a season can kind of do, right?
Yeah. And I just feel like it can go either way. So it's like,
Yeah. So we'll see about that. Over to the 5th pick, the Valkyrie. And it's funny when a player drops off, like how much like things shift on a draft board. Because last draft we had a hard time finding a fit for Anissa Morrow,
mhm.
but I think this is a great pick for the Valkyrie. I think
Yeah,
Anissa Morrow
because of
goes to the
how
Valkyrie.
things changed and how people dropped and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it would be a good pick for the Valkyrie to get her.
I mean, this what's it called? People were skeptical because of the height, because she's a forward that's what, like 6 foot 6'1".
Hmm.
But it's also like, okay, you can come in like someone was comparing her to not how Alicia Clark plays, but how Alicia Clark came in as a post and now it can play a 3.
Hmm.
That could be a path for Anissa Morrow. I know her
Hmm.
3 is not as consistent. I think she shot like 29% from the 3 this season or something. But she has the capability of improving that, right?
Hmm.
She has a motor. She's a dog. There's no quit. She's good in the paint. There's assets in maybe not assets. There's qualities about her that you want on your team, right? And the
Hmm.
Valkyrie, I mean, come on. They need everything. They need a little bit of everything, and I think this is a great starting spot. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that just after the year she had, the push they did in the tournament, with the Valkyries not having really an identity yet, I
Yeah.
think at this point, the best thing they could do is just go for the next best player. And I feel like, I mean, they just got to go Anissa right here.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a strong pick. I know a lot of people were speculating. I'm gonna butcher her name. It's Eustace? Yosite.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people were having her maybe this high. Um, I just don't think you could pass up Anissa Morrow. Like she's
Hmm.
impactful. I know there's doubt, but I mean, right now Valkyrie don't have a lot to lose, if we're being honest. This is their first season. Everyone's gonna give them slack, right? Over to Washington, another pick via Atlanta. Now this one, I played around with it because Washington, in my opinion, they need a little bit of everything. Another strong point guard would be helpful, I think, in this situation. And you do need guard depth as well. You need depth in almost every position for Washington, right?
Uh-huh.
The two names I was tossing back and forth, Cheyenne Sellers, Georgia Amore. Georgia Amore, obviously, great floor general. We always talk highly of her. Cheyenne Sellers, on the other hand, I think would be the better fit. Can play 1 to 3. She could be a backup, you know, point guard, but she can also play in 2-3. She's a big guard.
Uh-huh.
Okay. She could play the defensive end. We've seen her take over games in college offensively. I think just because of her versatility and ability to play like 1 through 3, I think that makes her the better pick for Washington. Just because, I mean, Washington needs a little bit of everything. I mean, but what are you kind of thinking on this one?
Um,
I
man,
want to
yeah.
preface this before you start. There are
Hmm.
so many guards and
Hmm.
different kinds of guards with different kinds of strengths in this draft. And it gets harder as we go down of who we think which guard will fit best in these systems and these teams. And it's like all these GMs have different opinions of what will fit better. So I can see all of these players we're about to name from 6 down, all exchanging spots, just popping around. But go ahead.
Um, so I do like Sellers. I don't think I really like Georgia Moore there because I mean they do have Suggs, they do have Jay Melbourne, which are solid point
Okay.
guards, and they're that
They're
type of point
backup
guard
point
that
guards.
Suggs started for Phoenix.
They didn't have no one.
But I'm just saying, like they're the type of point guards anyway. They're the type of point guards that look to facilitate first. And I
Hmm.
just don't think it makes sense to bring another point guard, even though Georgia Moore in college like was scoring stuff. I just still feel like she still can be a facilitator more than like an aggressive guard scoring.
Yeah.
And when I look at the Mystics roster, like they got some good forwards, solid forwards, and then I mean
Yeah.
they have Brittany Sykes, but they need
Yeah.
someone that's going to go out there and score. And
Hmm.
I think I lean more to Cheyenne because, and the reason I lean more to Cheyenne because Cheyenne is good to be being aggressive offensively, but she also plays defense well.
Hmm.
But another person I've considered, and I've been wondering why on a lot of drafts I've seen her name so low, is Isaiah James. It's
Yeah.
crazy to me how low I've seen her on mock drafts, but she's the type of player that I think would fit good in Washington's scheme because
Mm.
although her
Fast pace.
defense could use a little more work,
Yeah.
offensively, she loves to have the ball in her hand and take over games, which Washington needs,
Hmm.
you know?
I think the hesitation maybe is hot and cold. Not a
Yeah.
lot of consistency. We've seen her dominate games. We've also
Hmm.
seen her kind of take a little bit of a backseat.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like Washington needs a player that's aggressive
you
to
wouldn't say
complement Sykes.
You wouldn't say Cheyenne Sellers would complement Sykes,
Yeah,
like,
that's why I'm
oh,
saying
okay.
it would to me the only two people that I saw out of the guards, the big guards,
Gotcha.
the guards we have to pick from,
Yeah.
I'm leaning between those two, and I would get the upper hand to Cheyenne because her defense is just, in my opinion, just more solid than
Yeah.
Isaiah's.
And she's bigger. I think
Yeah,
she's, yeah, 6 foot. I think Isaiah James is like 5'9", 5'10", on the smaller, not on the smaller side, I
yeah.
mean, but you know what I mean. Okay, over to pick 7 and 8. Connecticut picks back to back. These ones have been hard for me. Every pick is hard, but these ones, Connecticut, I've looked at your roster. Oh my God, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing. You need everything.
Another team that the
You need,
identity is just not there.
but it's like Connecticut's roster out of all these rosters just looks so confused and like what are you gonna do? You need
Mhm.
anything. I think Connecticut's a wild card. They can go any, like if we're gonna see a random name, it would be here. Like they will go anywhere. Like
Mhm.
whatever they believe in is what they're going to ride with because they, like you said, lack identity. They need to kind of figure it out.
Mhm.
And it hurts my heart because you guys know I'm not so much of a fan of Connecticut, okay? Hurts my heart to say I can see Georgia Amore going here and then building
Mm.
around her. Georgia Amore, floor general, she makes players around her better. And I think that is a great quality to have when you're going to be on a team that's struggling. Because she can
Mhm.
also create shots for herself. You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
drawback is she's 5'6". Okay. But like we've seen her do what she needs to do and get it done. So because look, Lindsay Allen, J.C. Sheldon, and Lacan, that's your point guard. I mean, J.C. Sheldon's a great athlete, but I mean, she didn't have all that much experience as of last season. She did play some good minutes, but Lindsay Allen been around the block. I mean, she knows what to do. But for me, I just think this is a great. I mean, I don't like it. I want Georgia Amore to drop to Minnesota or LA or something crazy like that, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, not LA. LA would not be a good fit for point guard. I meant Minnesota. But I really think I don't know. Would you think it's a good spot? I mean, for Georgia Amore, like, or you're looking for someone like completely different here?
Um. Yeah. I mean, they have Lindsay Allen, and then they really don't have. Excuse me. They really don't have a point guard after that. So I see where you're going with that, but this identity is just
That's what I'm
horrible to me.
saying. They can go anyway, like because they're just mixed up.
I feel like they could stash like the Lithuania player Justy.
Which
How do
one?
you
The
say
one
her
I was
name?
just
Just
talking about? It's
yeah.
like Yuste Yosite.
Is that how you say it? You say?
I don't. I'm.
Well,
I'm assuming.
hopefully we're not butchering the name too bad,
I'm
but
sure we are.
I feel like she comes in with some international experience. She's a guard and a big
Well,
guard as
well, you
well.
stole my storm because that's literally who I have Connecticut picking next.
Well, back to back picks, right? So we should be
Yeah.
talking about two players here.
Yeah.
But I do look at them as taking two guards no matter what, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And all that to say is that I'm actually thinking more her and Sanaya Rivers because they need guards that like are, in my opinion, bigger guard. Well, I mean, the identity is crazy here, but I think they also need some scoring help. And then I mean Mabry shoots the three, Diamond DeShield. She can get hot and cold.
Oh my
Um,
God, no.
hmm.
Not Diamond Shield. Let's
She's
be
already on
for
the
real.
team.
No, I know, but like
But that's what I'm saying. That what scores outside of
just
what
Mabry.
true exactly
Yeah, it's
is
Mabry.
Mabry, and but their point
Tina
guard, like the ones.
Charles.
No, I mean
Oh,
I'm
oh,
not
at the
talking about
guard. At
bigs.
the
Yeah,
guard.
I
Oh,
think their
okay.
bigs are not horrible. I mean they have Olivia Nelson, Adodo. Uh, they have some posts to work with. So thinking just guard based, they have no one that's a true facilitator because Lindsay Allen, to me, she's
Yeah.
the
So,
best one.
okay.
But if you put a rookie to learn and be able to step up and do that stuff, I think they could use like more of a bigger guard that could also maybe play the two, which is not, in my opinion, like
But
a
you
Georgia
just said
Moore.
they lack a facilitator and then went away from Georgia Amore.
No, well, the reason I'm saying that is because you can get a facilitator and a bigger scoring guard out of Sanaya Rivers and I don't know how to say her name.
Yosite, I think.
Yeah, her highlights make it seem like she can facilitate as well.
Yeah, but for her, I've also heard that she can't play defense or she struggles on the defensive end.
Yeah,
And can
well,
she
she's an
create her own
international
shot?
player, and
She's
of
more of a
course,
pick and roll. She's more of a
we
pick
only
and
get
roll
we only
gal.
get highlights. So
No, I know, but the thing was that she's more of a pick and roll kind of person. She's not really like a I'm gonna create my own shot kind of
mhm.
defense is maybe lacking. There's questions on there. I I just don't I don't know. I can't see them picking Sanaya Rivers over Georgia Amore. I really can't. Just because I can't see we're just disrespecting Georgia Amore at this point, letting her go past the 8 pick, I think. That's in my opinion. Um But also Yosite, I think if she goes here, Connecticut has the ability to draft and stash for cap space. You know, if they don't want to use it. I mean, overseas players, I feel like they have more of a flexibility with that with overseas players. We've seen it happen in last year's draft a lot, actually. So I mean, I think we're both torn on that, but
Hmm.
I would still lean Georgia Amore. And if Georgia Amore falls, that's crazy. The steal. I mean, this the steal of the draft getting going past 9, in my opinion. It would be unfortunate. Um, but at 9, this one's tricky because LA has pretty good point guards. This is why I didn't see Georgia Amore going to LA.
Hmm.
Um, Odyssey Sims, Ari McDonald, Alman. I
Hmm.
like Odyssey Sims is solid. Ari McDonald, has experience. Um, and Kelsey Plum said she wanted to run the point, or she was going to be the point guard. So I don't think they need a point guard here. Obviously,
I
their
think.
bigs they have the depth for years on their
Hmm.
bigs, and that's why I would pick Sanaya Rivers here, an
Hmm.
athletic,
Guard
bigger
forward.
guard.
Yeah.
That it would be great here because their bigs are athletic. They added Kelsey Plum. Like that would be this would be a good spot in my opinion for like a Sanaya Rivers. I know you said Isaiah James, but I mean, what are you kind of thinking here at LA? If you had Sanaya going to Connecticut, who were you going to think to pick for LA?
Um, so I was in the same mindset as you, though, that guard forward, that one that can spread the floor, maybe have some height. Um, and that means we would be skipping over some really good guards. But then I would think maybe another one I can't name, the one from Sylvania.
Ajsa?
Yes,
Yeah,
she has
Sivka.
some height, and from what I can see, she can stretch the floor, she can shoot, um, and I just feel like that gives them that guard forward look that they need to fill a little bit.
Hmm. Okay, so two international players back to back. Interesting. Okay. Over to Chicago. Another difficult one. Chicago. You interest me. Courtney Vandersloot, obviously later 30s. I think they need a point guard. I really do think they need a point guard. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what do you see from their needs? Because their guard depth, I mean, I think it's nice. Ariel Atkins, Rebecca Allen, Rachel Banham. I don't they're good. I know people forget about how well they can play.
Mm-hmm.
Onyenwere, I think Onyenwere is more like a 4 though. 3-4, I guess. Um, I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
But point guard, only Mariah Jefferson, Courtney Vandersloot.
yeah. With Courtney getting older as well, this potentially could be like her last year
Yeah.
in the league. I would agree. They need a scrappy guard.
But with that question, who is it though?
I think we'll be on the same page as this, and I think we would say both say like Haley Van.
Haley Van Lith.
Yeah.
And I teetered between her and Pow Pow. Um, Obviously, I don't think Pow had a great season compared to later seasons this season.
Uh-huh.
But we all know that she can shoot the three. Chicago has 3-point shooters. That's what kind of I think made me lean more towards Haley Van Lith. But then I teetered back because we saw Haley Van Lith try to play the point guard role in LSU. Didn't really work out, but that was more of a system fit. But then we seen her tear it up at TCU.
Uh-huh.
And I think it would be disrespectful not to have Haley Van Lith in the first round. I think she did enough this college season to prove that
Uh-huh.
she has what it takes to compete and be in the W. Haley Van Lith is a playmaker. She makes good decisions. She could learn from
Uh-huh.
Courtney Vandersloot. So I mean, I still stick with Haley Van Lith here, and it's like, ay ay ay, because if it's not Pow Pow here, I don't have her the next two picks. I'm not gonna lie, sneak peek. So I feel bad, but there's gonna be a lot of players that drop to the second round that are gonna be steals. Like it's gonna be like a quality draft pick.
Uh-huh.
It's hard. These GMs have a lot of decisions to make of what kind of guard they like and what kind of guard they think is gonna fit in their system because there's a lot of talented guards and they all have their different assets, qualities that they bring with them. So that's going to be the
Uh-huh.
question. That's going to be the question. Minnesota. What are you thinking about Minnesota? Minnesota didn't make that many changes. They haven't added anyone. I'm concerned because I really wanted Indiana to win. And the reason I really wanted Georgia Amore to come here is because I think they need a true point guard to win. I don't really think Heidemann and Courtney Williams are true point guards. I'm not saying they're bad. They're great players. But a
Uh-huh.
true like facilitating point guard, right? Obviously they still have Kayla McBride, Bridget Carlton, you guys know. So I
Uh-huh.
mean, what are you thinking they're needing here? Who's gonna fit here? Because
This one's hard.
I've teetered between two names. What names are you teetering between?
Um, well, I like Georgia more,
If
and
she's
I
still
like,
available.
right, if she's still available.
Obviously, this is a
Um,
smash, Georgia Amore. If she drops to 11, that'd be crazy.
right. Um, and I like Sundell.
So, with my mindset, Georgia Amore is not available here. If
Hmm.
she's here, that's a smash. It's between Sundell and Sarah Ashley Barker. And Sarah Ashley
Mm,
Barker was invited to the draft. That list came out. And the reason is because of how well she played against Maryland. I feel like that opened my eyes. Like we all knew what she was capable of. Like
uh-huh.
she's a great player. But that game right there where she just put everyone on her back, a bigger guard, aggressive, can shoot the three, and is not afraid to take control
Hmm.
and make those difficult shots. And it's hard because I love Serena Sundell. I feel like she's quiet and like we don't really talk about her a lot. But another
Uh-huh.
big guard. She's versatile. She can facilitate, but she can also score when needed, which we saw. Because before Ayoka Lee got hurt, she got Ayoka Lee the ball. And after
Uh-huh.
Ayoka Lee got injured, Serena Sundell took over just quietly. I think she has good touch, especially around the rim. Um, and she can defend. Like I said, bigger guard. I think she's like 6'2" or something. And you want that. You want length.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, would you lean either way between her or Sarah Ashley Barker?
Um, yeah, I honestly didn't really think of Sarah Ashley Barker, but that's a good point. I was thinking that big guard can shoot and also facilitate if necessary. Yeah, so I could see that. I could see that them both being an option there.
Do you lean one way over the other? Do you have either one edging out?
I mean, going into the conversation, I was leaning
Sundell.
Sundell because, to be honest, I didn't even really give Sarah a thought. I didn't, yeah,
But now
kind
that
of forgot
I've
about her.
but now that I've, brought it to the conversation, how do you lean?
Um, yeah, I'm torn. Um, I mean, Minnesota could use a more aggressive like player.
Interesting.
Sundell's, I mean, it's tough.
No, I think because you have a perception, a lot of people have perception of her as like kind of like behind the scenes, kind of quiet player. But I
Uh-huh.
think she brings like a not a loud quiet. I don't know how to explain it, but she makes it known that like she is her, in my opinion. Like I can see it.
I feel
But
like
mhm.
I wonder what her I mean, because Sundell's not
She's
the
efficient.
biggest. Yeah, she's
She's
efficient,
efficient.
but she's not the biggest like 3-point shooter. And I
No,
wonder if
but
Sarah is more. But in Minnesota likes to have that where they can space the floor that way. So it makes me wonder if Sarah may be the better fit.
interesting. Well, you got to pick one. I already picked mine. Mine was Sundell.
Yours was Sundell. I think I will probably go Sarah Ashley Barker. You
Okay.
you I was convinced.
Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna let you look up their shooting percentages. But the last pick of the draft, Dallas via New York. This is where I was leaning Sarah Ashley Barker. If Sundell went before, or if
Huh?
vice versa, Sundell if Sarah Ashley Barker gets picked, right? But then I noticed what you noticed, and Isaiah James booted out of the first round. So then
Hmm.
I started thinking, well, what about Isaiah James here? And I'm looking at Dallas, and Dallas, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. I'm not gonna lie. Like when they made all their moves, I was like, okay, good moves, like solid. But it's like, okay, Tierra McCowan. We all know McCowan needs a sub, which was always Kalani Brown. But no more Kalani Brown, okay? So
Hmm.
we're not doing too well with the depth at the center position, right? Then you got Melissa Smith. Okay, Maddie Siegrist, Joyner Holmes. Okay, we're getting a little thin. We're getting a little thin in these bigs, right? Okay. And I've seen like a Sanaya Fagan go here and Sedona Prince go here. I mean, what are you kind of thinking? Because I don't know. There's a lot of ways Dallas can go here.
Um,
And they
man,
also
yeah.
need a point guard.
Uh,
They need a point. Ty Harris is a good point guard, but they need a backup point guard.
Sanaya Rivers.
We already picked Sanaya Rivers. Oh, I picked Sanaya Rivers for LA.
Which for LA.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Pow Pow can go here. There's a lot of people that can go here.
no, because I mean, you need a true point guard here. And if you're not going for that, then go for a big. Then I'm going Sanaya Fagan
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
to
know.
fit in with them.
Unless you're gonna play Paige as the point guard.
I
I
I
don't
feel
know
like they
though.
might have to go big, and I just cannot say Sonoma Prince. So
So we're going Sanaya Fagan because this.
I think they need a guard, like a point guard, or they need a big. Their in between is good.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. The in
either
between
that
is.
or that. So
But it's like, ay, ay, ay. I don't.
you got
That's
the
hard.
12th pick, so it depends what's left on the board. But if I mean
This one's
Serena
hard.
Sundell could play, I mean she's a big point, but that I mean
No, yeah, no. I said if Serena Sundell drops here, I would pick Sundell.
yeah.
I
I
would for sure
don't feel
pick
like
Sundell here
Isaiah James will fit, and she's gonna have to drop to the second round, you know,
and find a better
because
fit.
they need like
Yeah,
they don't need a scrappy guard or nothing. They need a facilitator.
yeah,
They
they
need
do.
someone that's willing to give the ball up.
Yeah.
And so if Sundell isn't picked to this point, they need a Sundell. Again with Georgia Moore. If Georgia Moore drops
Oh
this
my God,
low,
that'd be disrespectful.
Dallas would have a huge steal here.
Oh my God,
But then
yes.
as far as the bigs that are left, I feel like, it's a lot of it's really only like forwards left. I mean, you got Michaela Timpson, but I don't think she's no, not
I
first
like
round.
Michaela Timpson. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. She'll
but
be
I
a
don't
good
see her
addition in the
going
second
over some
round.
of these other names first
Okay.
round.
Yeah,
And so
okay.
I just feel like, to me, Sanai Fega, in my opinion, showed a lot of growth this year, and I would have to go with her.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, because other than that, I mean, like I said, the Slovenia girl, if she doesn't get picked, they could do something there.
True.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the only other option is Sedona, and I'm not saying Sedona. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, Sanaa Fagan would be a good pick. Another a defensive big. We've seen what she can do in South Carolina. But I agree. I think if Sundell is available here, I'm going Sundell. It's a lot of what ifs, and I mean, a GM man, the seat they have to be in. Like, if someone picks something crazy, and then you're like, oh, I gotta figure it out. That was my pick. So like, I'm. There's a lot of. I feel like a lot of these names and additional names that we didn't talk about are gonna be interchangeable after like the fifth pick. After this Valkyrie
mhm,
pick, I would say after the Washington's last pick. Connecticut down, I feel like I can go anyway. Like all these
mhm,
guards are good. They bring their own qualities. It's what guard does the GM believe in the most in the team?
mhm.
But let us know what you guys think. Last mock draft, WNBA draft on Monday, 4:30 Pacific time for us over here. Definitely got to have a watch party for that because I feel like there's a lot of question marks in this draft and there's a lot of talent. So we'll see. So, like I said, let us know what you guys think is going to happen, and we will be back with more content. Watch party probably on Monday. So, stay tuned for that. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. See you guys. Peace.